welcome to the kitchen at Westminster for another edition of Saving Time. This is a fun week. We're going to make rice pudding. It's old-fashioned, it's beautiful, it's cool and refreshing, or you can eat it while it's still warm, which is a special treat if you happen to be the cook or just in the kitchen when it happens. Rice pudding is you can eat it for breakfast. You can send it in a little dish with your kids to school for school lunches. It's a dinner time dessert. It is the be-all to end-all of desserts. It's super easy. We're gonna put it together with a handful of ingredients. You're gonna love this. It's so easy. Honestly, anybody can make this. It's too simple. Too simple. Let's get cooking, okay? Honestly, so that we can just be eating rice pudding before we know it, okay? I love this. I love rice pudding. Off camera earlier, I cooked rice because we want some leftover rice. So basically what you want to do is you want to start with pre-cooked rice. So if you're cooking something through the week and you know you want to make a rice pudding, cook a little extra rice so you have it left over. If you want to cook it straight up like I did today, also works. More or less, you need 2 cups of cooked rice. So what I did here was I cooked 1 full cup of rice. It's given me close to more like 4 cups, which is great because that bit of leftover rice, either do a double batch or cook it up in something else. So right now, we've got 4 cups. I want to put 2 cups in my pot. So that's all I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to, and you know what, don't knock yourself out. If it's 2.5 or 1 3/4, it's all going to be okay. Don't be too weird about that. Please don't measure yourself silly, okay? Just throw 2 cups of rice in the bottom of a fairly large pot so you've got room to stir. I'm notorious for picking small. I don't think I'm alone in this. We pick the smallest bowl we think we're going to need, and we pick the smallest pot we think we're going in, and then there's no room to stir, and it doesn't take longer to wash the bigger pot. It's the same amount of work. I don't know why, but it's this weird thing that a lot of us do with picking small. Don't do that. 2 cups of cooked rice. Honestly, rice will keep in the fridge for like all week. If you cook up a bunch of rice on a Sunday, now you've got it for the week. You throw that, if you put this in a frying pan with some oil and butter, and then toss in whatever vegetables you have and just keep it going on, get some color on it, a little soy sauce in there to throw some good flavor in. And then if you have it, scramble an egg or 2 and then chop up your scrambled egg in your fried rice. Oh my goodness, now you've got a beautiful meal. Now you don't even care. You're cooking extra rice all the time now. It's delicious. Don't not do it. Little pinch of salt. Just a pinch. If you already salted it when you cooked your rice, don't worry too much. I did not. A pinch. Please don't think about it too much. Don't get a spoon out and measure, just a pinch. Don't go crazy. Okay, salt is not the best thing in the world for us. Sugar. We need some. Not too much. 1/4 cup. A 1/4 cup for this big pot of rice pudding. It's hardly anything at all. Don't leave it out though, because your rice pudding is not going to taste like anything much if you don't put it in there. Okay, so 1/4 cup. If you've only got brown sugar, I don't see why not. Obviously your rice pudding is going to be darker, but I don't see why you couldn't use brown sugar. Don't not make it because you don't have white sugar. A little bit of cinnamon. About a 1/2 teaspoon. Teaspoon's not going to hurt. About a 1/2 though. Don't be too worried. I mean, nothing is going to hinge on if there's a little more or a little less cinnamon. Also, in the world of cinnamon and rice pudding, when you serve it, you're probably going to want a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top of each bowl. Makes it perfect restaurant quality. 1/4 cup of raisins. If you don't have raisins, cranberries would do. Honestly, I mean, please include them. If you've got a house full of people who really won't eat it if you put raisins in, then leave them out, but it's best if you can put them in. And if you put them in before we cook it, again, then it rehydrates them and it plumps them up in the nicest way. So throw them in there. That said, if you've got, I'm really hot. This kitchen is hot. Holy mackerel. Sorry. If you've got kids who don't like raisins, and some of you do, some of you don't, I've been there, done that, then save it and just stir them in by the bowl after the fact, okay? Put some raisins in the ones who like it. Don't torment yourself. I like them in there. Traditionally, there are raisins. Currants work, cranberries. Honestly, just about any dried fruit could be tossed in there. Next up, We want 1 can of evaporated milk. So not the sweetened condensed milk, the Eagle brand stuff that you use for making cookies and squares and stuff. Just evaporated milk. And you can usually pick up a can of evaporated milk for under $2. Don't use regular milk, okay? Use evaporated milk. If you don't have the canned evaporated milk, then you could use skim milk powder. About a 1/4 cup of powder to a cup of water would do the trick, okay? So if that's what you have, use it. Don't use whole milk, like don't use milk, fresh milk. So either this or skim milk powder. And then 1/2 cup of water. So again, if you're using the skim milk powder, then just go 1 1/2 cups. And just dump that in there. And then give the whole thing a stir. So we've got raisins, cinnamon, a little pinch of salt, sugar, cooked rice. All I'm doing right now is just when rice sits and gets cold, it kind of clumps together in little lumps, easily separated. So I'm just giving it a little bump around just to separate it. I have some raisins that are clumping a bit in there too. So I'm just breaking things apart. Honestly, look, we're on our way. I'm gonna put this over medium-low heat. I'm gonna bring it to a low boil, and then we're just gonna simmer it for probably about 20 minutes. Right now, we'll just bring it over here. I'm gonna put it just on medium-low. I don't want to scorch the milk. So having said that, you don't have to stand here and stir endlessly, but don't leave the kitchen. Okay, just do some other things, and every now and again, pop over at least every few seconds. Give it a little push, make sure your milk's not sticking, and also to stop that nasty milk skin that forms when you heat milk, okay? So just periodically give it a little push around. It's easy peasy. Honestly, you're gonna love this. Like, look, we've just made it. Like, it's too simple. And if you're making supper, well, now the pudding's going, so carry on. Maybe you're doing something else. Right now, I'm just gonna show you. As always, we'll be sending kits around in the neighborhood to Heart Hub or the food bank for them to hand out to people who could use a little helping hand and a good recipe. So in here, I've got 1 cup of rice so that they'll cook that up and end up with their 4 cups of cooked rice. Got a can of evaporated milk. And I put the 1/4 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of raisins, that bit of salt and cinnamon in here. Everything they need to put the pudding together, and a recipe to do it. So easy. I'm gonna go off camera. We'll come back and have a peek at this. Basically, I want it to simmer along until it doesn't look wet anymore. It's gonna start looking like pudding, creamy, thick, okay? So we're just gonna let that cook away. It is right now, I'll just check the time. It's 27 minutes past the hour. We'll see where we're at when we come back, okay? See you soon. Okay, so let me see. Honestly, what was it? 27 minutes after, and it's not quite 10 to. So like 20 minutes, honestly. We've been 20 minutes, and you can see now that we're almost to put in consistency, and you know as well as I do that that rice is going to keep eating our cream. So we're going to remove it from the heat, and just here, give it another stir. You're trying to stop it from getting that skin on it. Just give it a push around. I'm going to add just a little shot, maybe a teaspoon, not a big measure. We're just going to go a little dollop. There we go. That was probably a teaspoon and a half. And give it a stirring. Honestly, not necessary, but if you've got it, it's nice. And if you don't, if you've got a little maple syrup or some honey, a little something. Honestly, though, if you don't have it, don't be like, oh, I can't make the rice pudding. Yes, you can. Don't worry about it. And don't forget this. I'm going to just leave for a second here off the heat. We'll come back, put some in a bowl, sprinkle a little cinnamon on top. You're going to see how lovely this is. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. Okay, this is just gorgeous. Now look, we're just going to put a little bit in here. Look at how nice this is. This is so nice. This is so pretty. And the little caramelized coloring comes from the milk. We want to do a little sprinkle of cinnamon to top it. Off camera, Charlotte and I were talking, and we said, you know what, if you didn't put raisins in there, if you've got them, you could top your bowl, especially if you're having it for breakfast. throw a couple of blueberries or raspberries on there to mix in. Even a little spoon of homemade jam would be delicious. It doesn't need to be homemade, but come on, make it homemade. Honestly, this is delicious. Very old-fashioned. If you really wanted to, a little dollop of whipped cream for the dinner table makes it really dessert. Not if you're eating it for breakfast. That's a rule. It's only my rule, but still, it's a good rule. No whipped cream for breakfast. That's it. This is saving time again. I would say that this came together. We're using a little bit of rice, a little bit of raisins, a little bit of sugar. This whole pot probably came together for under $2 if you piece out the bits and so on. You can't do better. You've probably got enough in here for, I'd say, at least 6 servings like this, at least, if not 8. That's a great deal. That's breakfast for somebody every day of the week. Go on and cook some rice for supper tonight. Cook extra. Make yourself an extra 2 cups of cooked rice and make rice pudding. Don't not do it. This is delicious stuff. Take good care. I'm going to see you again probably in August sometime. Have a safe summer. Bye for now.